Hello and welcome back for another episode of Financial Freedom by 40. In this week's episode, we're crossing the Nullarbor. The Nullarbor crossing is one of Australia's epic road journeys. 3 days, 1,457 kilometres, and it takes us on a journey from Palubi Beach in South Australia all the way through to Kalgoorlie in Western Australia. A journey across the Nullarbor is not to be taken lightly. Aside from a few roadhouses with very basic provisions and not a lot else other than a few campsites and petrol stations, you'll want to make sure you are stocked up, fueled up, watered up and ready to go before you leave Ceduna, as you'll have about 1,200 kilometres between Ceduna and Norseman, the two larger towns either side of the Nullarbor. Nullarbor crossing day. Just woken up and it's a beautiful day, so sun rising up nice and early so we can hit the road. But this is sunrise over Palubi Beach. So we just stopped to have a look at Smoky Bay on our way through from Palubi. We haven't stayed here, maybe we should have done. Check out how beautiful this beach is. It's about 8:30 in the morning, so we won't be going swimming or anything just yet, but look at the state of that. It's just beautiful. And we just picked up some Smoky Bay oysters. We've been trying to find some oysters along here, but we haven't had much luck, and being a Sunday, the factory doors aren't open, but the general store did have some fresh oysters, so we picked up some of those on our way through. So we're just stopped up at Ceduna, and we're going to be crossing the border into WA in a couple of days' time. And when you cross the border, you can't take mud with you or soil with you. So we've stopped up here to get some of the mud off, because we've managed to bring a fair bit of mud with us this far. So that's mud. And then same with the van. So gonna clean the car, and then we're gonna pull through and clean some of the mud off the outside of the van. I think most of the mud's on the back end, but yeah. So before we cross the border, because there's border security checks at WA, it's time to clean the vehicles. For long stretches of the Nullarbor journey, there really isn't an awful lot to see, but there are some pretty interesting and funky sights along the way, so it's a good idea to factor these into your trip planning. One of the places we really wanted to see is Lake MacDonnell. It's a pretty stunning pink lake on the South Australia side of the Nullarbor crossing, not far from the town of Penong. If you've seen some of our earlier videos, you might have seen us in search of pink lakes elsewhere in South Australia. But so far we haven't had an awful lot of luck finding lakes that are truly pink in colour. We've seen lots of pictures of the pink lake here in marketing brochures and on Instagram, and we were really hoping that we would be lucky enough for it to be pink when we visited. It turns out that the best time to view Lake MacDonnell, if you want to see it in its pink glory, is between January and February. And with our visit being in mid-January, we were super lucky to be there when it was at its peak. So we finally got to see a truly pink lake. After Lake MacDonnell, we made a quick stop in the nearby town of Penong, where they have this cool windmill museum. It's not a museum like you might traditionally think of it, but it is a collection of windmills that the local community have found and restored, and it makes another interesting little stop along the way.
Yeah. The meteor, that one's named the Comet. That one's named the
New oil, maybe? New oil? Maybe it was like from oil.
Yeah, but it's all got to do with stuff in the sky, though, doesn't it?
Like
The Southern Cross windmill.
Oh.
Huh.
That's the question of the night, isn't it?
What?
Why a windmill?
I think that's one of those original things.
Oh, so that was actually a working windmill, this one here, that looks like it's got fence palings on.
These were all working windmills.
Oh, that one just looks funny because it's. But I think
it does look a bit different.
it must. it must fold out because it's got a picture of the working position on the side.
Oh, right. So maybe when it's like high winds, they fold out like that and it prevents it from turning.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there you go. See, it must fold out flat.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Huh.
Oh, so this must be one they've restored.
They're all restored.
The Comet windmill at the Windmill Museum is actually the largest windmill in all of Australia. So we got to learn a bit about windmills and tick off another one of Australia's big things. But after that, it was time to hit the road and try and get some serious kilometres under our belt before the end of day one on the Nullarbor.
So we've stopped at Yalata, which is, oh gosh, I don't know, we're probably, what, a quarter of the way?
Oh.
If we're lucky?
Yeah,
Maybe?
probably.
On our trip across the Nullarbor. And so as you go across the Nullarbor, the petrol gets more and more expensive. So last stop, what was it? I don't know.
$1.84, I think is what we paid.
Yeah, I think something like that.
$1.84, $1.87, I think in the last one.
And now, what is it?
Now it's $1.98.
So we're trying to fill up as we go so that we can avoid the most expensive ones. I think the most expensive one's just under $3, like $2.80 something, $2.83 or something like that. So we've filled up the jerry cans, we're putting some gas in here while it's still under $2 a litre, and we're, see how we go from there.
Manage the fuel.
Yeah, manage the cost of crossing the Nullarbor.
Although we didn't need fuel at the Nullarbor Roadhouse, it was time to stretch our legs, so we jumped out of the car to have a look at the old historic roadhouse.
Can you see anything in there? Is it all just boarded up? You pump in the petrol, there's a...
Where's the car?
I don't think that one's worked for a while. Slot, can you see anything in there? Can you see anything?
And there's some old rusty stuff.
Old rusty stuff.
It's a dirt floor.
Ah. Can we have a peek in
Come
there?
on, selfie by this.
What's in there?
After that, we were off to check out the amazing Bunda Cliffs. We've seen so many photos of people camping along the edge of the Bunda Cliffs over the years, and we'd really hoped to be one of those people taking up the free camping spots along the cliffs. Unfortunately, however, there are some stability issues along the edge of these cliffs, and the cliffs have been officially closed for camping. We did see some people out there camping fairly close to the edge, but after reading the advice from the national parks, we decided that it was safer to find a campsite somewhere else. Nevertheless, the views out at the lookouts along the Bunda Cliffs are spectacular, and in this shot you can actually see some of the old tracks that people have taken to get out and park up near the cliffs. It's a stunning view, but we didn't want to take the risk.
This big road train going along the Nullarbor. It's sort of living up to its name now, the Nullarbor. It's getting pretty flat and pretty bare.
It was starting to get a little late in the day by this point, and the boys were getting a little on the hangry side, so we decided to head for camp. We'd seen a cool camp at Koonalda Homestead, and that was one of the places we'd actually wanted to visit anyway. Along the way, we spotted a dingo walking along the side of the road, so that was pretty cool. The camp also ended up being one of our favourite camps on the trip so far.
So we are at, where are we at? I've forgotten where we are. I think
National Park.
we're at the, well, we're near where the old Nullarbor used to go. Was it K something?
Kalgoorlie?
No, not Kalgoorlie. Anyway, we'll add it on. And this is what used to be an old roadhouse back in the day, but now it is just the remnants of an old roadhouse and the old homestead, and all the cars that in the past didn't make it over the Nullarbor.
Now all cars can do it.
Oh, there's heaps of them over there.
Oh, we didn't see those ones.
Yeah, we should go have a closer look over there.
All cars can do it as long as they bring fuel. I mean, some cars do. Or they're willing to pay quite a lot of money for fuel.
Koonalda. Ah, that's right. Koonalda Homestead. Yeah, that one over there looks like it's been shot up. Oh, that looks like it does too. That barrel looks like it's had some bullet holes in it as well. What's that? Some sort of old building or water tank maybe? Or... It's been there a while because it's got a tree growing in the middle of it.
Oh, scrap diesel cars.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, we should look down there now. Probably an old Corolla somewhere.
No, there's definitely not a Corolla.
Yeah, but probably.
There won't be a Corolla. No.
Yes.
Corolla's a quality.
No, I've already seen a Corolla.
No. Although that looks a little bit like an Escort over there. That one's seen better days, hasn't it?
It's got full hole through it.
It really does.
The door's been blasted to bits.
Just careful, there's lots of glass.
There's all the glass from the windows has been blasted.
I know, there's lots of... Well, it's had a hard life, hasn't it? Purple interior though.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, let's go.
We spent a good amount of time after dinner wandering around and checking out all the old cars. The boys thought it was super cool, and to be honest, we thought it was pretty cool as well. I bet you that a lot of these cars can tell some really good stories. Unfortunately, it got too dark for us to explore all of the buildings around the site at night, so we got up early the following morning so we could do a bit of exploring before it was time for us to hit the road again. As well as the main homestead, there are a number of outbuildings, including this little cottage. There's also an old shearing shed and some shearers' quarters that you can have a look around. The camping area at the Koonalda homestead is actually in a clearing in amongst all of this, so there is quite a lot that you can wander around and see within close proximity to your campsite. What's also really cool is this campsite is only $13.50 per night, and there really is just so much to see there. So it's a really fun little stop and a really affordable stop too.
Old fuel pump.
And then the old roadhouse. The very old roadhouse.
So you reckon this is the workshop?
Yep. Look inside.
What's
the
in
window.
there? Not much these days.
But if you look here, there's a couple kettles.
Well, not much that's original anyway. Looks like someone's old tent's been left in there.
What do you say?
There's some old kettles. Because that looks like an old tent down there on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Window over there.
Come on, Mum.
It's got that old house smell.
Not much.
Oh, we've got the good old asbestos tile thing, is it? Asbestos. Or is it vinyl? No? Is it, what is it? Old vinyl? Oh, this is not too shabby really compared to the last one. It is a huge house.
The TV in here, Mum.
Bedroom. Oh yeah, bits of old TV. Old beds.
Bathroom.
Oh, it's a bit dark in the bathroom. Huh. They've obviously got like renovated in about the 60s or something.
Can I see? There's no power.
Dining room. Oh look, they've even got flowers in the vase. Oh look, old range.
Okay, this place isn't haunted.
They even had a running. I suppose it ran till 1989. Imagine that, it ran till 1989. So this was like a functional home in our lifetimes. So it's all built of old railway sleepers.
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty cool. Again, I mean, it would have been probably a bit breezy, wouldn't it? But I guess sometimes it doesn't matter.
No, stop saying.
Cool. They just used everything, eh? Like, they're so resourceful in those days, how they...
Hey, there's still something
You know, like now
Just
everything, we want everything new nowadays, you know, and they used to just, like, you built your house out of railway sleepers that were recycled from an old railway. That's probably would have been like laundry and all that.
Toilet. This is the bathroom.
Yeah?
There's the bog.
The bog.
The bog's out here.
Yeah, that. So this would have been an add-on. It would have been an add-on having a toilet because they didn't originally. They wouldn't have had one, so they would have added that on later on.
Yeah.
My nana and granddad's house had a toilet like that. It was built in an add-on like this.
Also on the Koonalda homestead site is a blowhole that comes up from under the ground. Have a look at this.
Feels like it's sucking. then
You can
blowing.
hear it though.
It's more of a natural AC. If you go down and feel it, it's more of a natural.
Yeah, it feels like it's
Oh, you can feel it blowing.
There are a number of other blowhole sites similar to this along the Nullarbor, although this is the only one that we stopped to check out.
I mean, it's a pretty cool place to camp.
yeah.
Plenty of space.
Yeah, heaps of space. Oh, there's like the pen.
Oh, also made out of railway sleepers.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder what that was.
A windmill.
No, that thing. We'll have a look on the way out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe a water trough. That's a good point, see?
It's honestly quite tiny if you got it out.
That's pretty cool.
This could still be used as an operating
wow.
thing. It would.
Well, it probably was in the
showers
80s.
or-
Oh yeah, maybe.
If you did this place up, you could definitely make it into a functional sharing shed again.
No, well, like the homestead was still being used as a homestead till the 80s.
This
Which
is
means-
probably like a.
This was probably still being used as a shearing shed till the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, this probably had like some form of machinery, maybe a generator or a compressor or something.
Or maybe the shearing equipment ran from out of here. When there were pens, what the other side?
Hey Dad, look, there's a sheep in there. Sheep in.
Oh. Yeah, so all the different pens. Just be careful if you walk in there because that floor's kind of collapsing. So.
Yeah, that's why it's closed off. You're not allowed to walk through here.
Oh.
They've locked.
Pretty cool, but like you
Wired
say,
them
look at
all.
the iron on the sides, right? It just made the most of everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Recycle.
Yeah, well, it's probably picked up from. I mean, you know how as we drive, you can see there's all those falling down old buildings.
Yeah.
They probably just collected it up from that sort of thing. You can even see the old the fence posts.
Yeah.
They're made out of tree trunks. Like if you look at the trees that are around here, it's just chopped down trees that have been turned in to make fence posts and gate posts and whatever else.
Pretty cool.
Very cool. So, what's in here, Zace?
This is the shearer's like toilet.
Toilet, bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all made out of sleepers too.
Everything here's made from sleepers.
Oh, that's the toilet. Goodness. So this was a long drop. I
Yeah.
don't think I want to look down the hole.
No. That's what I sound. Where's the shower in here? We said there was a shower.
After leaving the Koonalda homestead, there was not too much further to go before we hit the WA border. There were still, however, a couple of lookouts to check out some other angles of the Bunda Cliffs. We definitely think it's worth taking the time to pull in and have a look at all of the different lookouts as you get a different feel for what the cliffs are like from all of the places we stopped. The final stop was quite a different sort of an outlook over the Bunda Cliffs with a larger flat area down at the base of the cliff, and you can again see tracks where people have gone off-road.
So we've just stopped at the Border Town checkpoint and just getting rid of our fruit and vegetables, and we didn't have much left. We knew this was coming, so we kind of planned for it, but just getting rid of all of our leftover rubbish food scraps and throwing out the fruit and all that we had left so that we can go across into the WA, across the WA border. So we made it to the border, we crossed all okay, so we had to get the shot that everybody gets for Instagram, so here we are getting the shot. So as the sign says, this is the border between Western Australia and South Australia. So thought we'd grab the shot and make the most of it. We passed quarantine, of course, so all good. Off we go to explore Western Australia.
It was then time to stop at Eucla to put some more gas in the car.
$2.28 I think is the cheapest that we can get for about another 700 kilometres of it. So,
But it's the most expensive fuel we've paid for so far on the
yes.
trip.
Yeah, so what are we at? We're at 70 litres now.
All the money going.
This is your money going faster than gambling. So what, we're about 80 litres we're going to put in.
Just behind the Eucla roadhouse, there's a road that goes out to the old Eucla telegraph station. We actually ended up on this road by accident after having taken a wrong turn coming out of the fuel station, but it was kind of a cool little stop. Part of the reason why it was so cool though was because we learned that the windows and doors from the old telegraph station were actually used in the construction of the Koonalda homestead, so a bit more recycling of those materials going on there too.
I think.
Well, I'd say that was a door.
Yeah,
That-
that
those
was
are
a
probably
door.
windows.
Then that
All
fireplace.
those are windows. Well, that's a lot of doors.
Oh,
So it's the old telegraph station building.
That
Yeah.
fireplace.
Huh.
The actual fireplace itself will be further
Oh,
down.
those are windows.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got the old frames on the inside.
So
Oh.
the fireplace will actually be further down, buried by the sand.
I'd say so.
Because the windows are that height. Who would want to have windows at knee height and a
Oh, wow.
fireplace at head height?
Yeah.
So when they
Pretty
said the
barely
sand
graffiti,
started
isn't
to
it?
take over the building, it really did.
Yeah. Pretty badly graffiti,
This whole
isn't it?
entire
It
room
is.
is
It's
full
such a
of
shame.
sand.
I'm also not sure you should really be standing on it, Oliver John.
A bit further to the west, we decided to make another diversion off the main road to check out the Madura caves. These caves are a bit of a trek off the main highway. It was probably about a 20-minute drive on a bit of a corrugated road to get here, but they were pretty cool. Apparently they go quite deep underground, but we weren't quite brave enough to go too deep into the caves. You'll see why in just a few minutes.
Got the torches?
Yep.
Alright.
Wow, it's super warm.
Very hot.
It actually is like a perfect cave.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. Yeah, it's not deep at all.
That was pretty cool though. Look on the ground there. It's not it.
There's another one just over there. Like the other side of it's like hollowed out too.
Long way down, isn't it? Yeah, well, birds might use it for nesting and stuff. I wonder what that yellow is something.
What else?
Oh yeah.
Research it. I don't know what's on that yellow thing. Not dark enough, but no. Next to it. That thing there is one of those things to mark where you've gone.
Oh, be careful of the birds. Because if they're nesting in here, they might start swooping down at you.
It's a big one.
Does that mean there's rooms that live in that?
A roo cave. Well, I was just gonna say there's lots of different droppings around here.
Yeah.
So
Well, this is hot, right? They,
there's obviously other animals
they're eastern.
around. Oh, there he goes.
These are.
Yeah, it's a big roo. Hello.
Hi.
It's like, what are you doing in my cave? He's like the bunyip.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
He's like the bunyip in the cave, you know, that storybook.
Well, I mean, it's so hot, it's like they find shade, right?
Or the bunyip under the bridge, I think maybe. Yeah.
Oh, there, that one's better.
These were that's quite far down.
Oh, that smells good.
Probably because the roos live in it.
Yeah, it's got like.
Oh, there's some
things that
dead
died.
thing there.
So
Ugh.
dingoes or anything could have come
Oh,
up.
there's bones and all sorts in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit creepy. There's a dead thing in there. There's a few dead things in there.
So come on. Maybe deep kangaroos or deep things.
I don't want to be the next dead thing.
Oh yeah, it's like a big roo or a big kangaroo in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, there's stuff, 3 things with tails in there.
Smells great.
Yeah, it's where things go to die.
Oh yeah, see this is one of those ones that open right up. Oh yeah, it's
It's quite a big cave.
there's a few kangaroos.
Are they birds or are they bats? They're birds.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say I'm gonna freak out if they're bats.
Well, that's a dead dingo. 'Cause it's got 2 front legs, and by the looks of it, those were its back legs.
Yeah, there's a few
And it has a
things.
big
Like,
tail.
They must be. Well, those over there are roos. Oh, there's an animal in there. Oh,
Dingoes, 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 sheep. Sheep.
there's
There's
sheep.
sheep.
Oh, there's sheep.
There's sheep.
Oh,
Hi, sheepies. Well, I did sort of freak a little bit too because I saw the legs come out.
Oh, there's
Sheep.
sheep.
Oh,
Oh, I was about to say, dingoes, I'm getting out of here.
yeah.
I
was
wouldn't
thinking.
be surprised. I mean, if they are dingoes, like catching, I don't know if they're big
Well,
enough to catch kangaroos and stuff though.
particularly given the number of carcasses
Yeah.
that are.
Maybe
lot
we
of-
should go. No.
There's a lot of dead things in here.
I don't feel safe here.
I don't care.
Right, I wouldn't go further in those days.
They must be sheltering in here too.
What's a lot
Cool.
cooler in here than it
Yeah,
is
there's a lot
outside.
cooler.
I was about to sprint for my life.
After that little scare, we decided to give it a miss going any deeper into the caves and to continue on to find our next campsite. One of the cool things along the Nullarbor is that there are a number of free rest stops all the way along that you can stop in, and our next stop was just one of those rest stops.
So we're hitting the road. This is the earliest I think we've ever hit the road. 6:52 in the morning.
Well, that's what happens when you have a time zone change of 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so
Most of us were awake at about 5 o'clock this morning.
yeah.
I was like at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock new time though. So
Yes.
here we were like
At
on
7:30 Adelaide time.
yeah. So here's the map. So actually let me just open it up. Oh, anyway, this is what we did yesterday. So yesterday we started at Koonalda Caves, and then we went all the way along to near this
Okay, this is going to be interesting.
zigzag bit in the road.
Man, the Koonalda caves though gave me an absolute fright.
And so we stayed here at the Nullarbor rest area. So we did, was it about 500 kilometres yesterday?
No, 630 yesterday.
Oh, 630 yesterday. So
Man.
that's all the way we've gone, and we're heading the road again this morning. But as you can see on the map here, we had a couple of time changes. One there
I'm trying to get out here.
and one there. There,
Oh, there.
over there. And so this is the little, we stayed at a 24-hour rest stop on the side of the road. There's quite a few other people staying in here as well, and there was a big truck. I think has he gone?
It's gone.
The next little stop was a bit of a surprise. We pulled into the Madura roadhouse to get some gas, and we noticed while they were there was a sign about some space junk. So we thought we'd better go and have a look and find out what this is about. It turns out that back in the early 70s, NASA launched a space research lab called Skylab. By the end of the 70s, Skylab was starting to fall apart, and in 1979, it crashed to Earth in Western Australia, not far from the Madura roadhouse. Some bits and pieces that have been collected from the space junk have ended up in this little museum that's at the roadhouse. So it's definitely worth popping in there and having a look and reading the stories. A surprising but interesting little stop-in Madura. While the official Nullarbor crossing ends at Norseman, you can extend your journey a little bit further by heading inland and up to Kalgoorlie. This is what we decided to do. Kalgoorlie is part of the goldfields, and there are a number of small towns around Kalgoorlie that were also involved in the gold rush. The journey from Norseman up to Kalgoorlie was about another 200 k's, so we decided to break up the trip a little bit with a stop in at Koonalda. Koonalda is another little gold mining town that had its heyday back in the gold rush. They have this neat little museum there that has some relics from those gold mining days, but also just some really interesting historical stuff as well. Some of the things they had on display were an old pharmacy display with some of the original medicines and all sorts of funky equipment on display. They had an old dentist's chair and various pieces of dental equipment, and a very colourful array of bottles that somebody has been collecting.
Worcester sauce? Chutney? Huh. Funny. What else is there? Masons. So actually Mason's jars were Mason jars. Teachers, that's gin, isn't it?
Sure. Blue ones. Oh,
What are these ones? These are all like ceramic ones.
Johnny Walker whiskey.
Oh, beer. Oh, ginger beer? Beer.
Brewed
Yeah.
ginger beer, yeah.
Where's ginger beer?
Yeah,
Nice.
they're all old ginger beer containers.
Brewed ginger beer.
I can you
ginger
please,
beer,
can
ginger
you get me
beer.
one of those things? Yeah,
What are all
I
these
want
ones?
ginger beer.
These must be all like old spirit bottles, maybe. There you go,
Or
Johnny Walker.
Yeah, whiskey.
Johnny Walker. That's one too. That's actually shaped like a man. Oh look, King George and Queen Elizabeth. That must be the Queen Mother and the Queen's father.
Yeah, 1937.
Huh.
To commemorate
So it must be
the
their.
coronation of their
Oh.
majesties.
Huh.
What's the coronation?
Wow, it's amazing that they've got this. This is probably some collection somebody had in their, you know, like in their house.
Imagine how much something that would be worth now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, these are all whiskey. So old Irish whiskey, Scotch whiskey. Oh, there you go. Whiskey jugs and jars. Whiskey
Oh,
bottles.
it actually has labels. Gin and schnapps.
shot glass.
Spirits and wine.
Medicine.
Oh, these ones are all perfume.
May and Frank Waghorn put this collection together.
Oh, right.
Perfume bottles. Medicine
Hey, Mum,
bottles.
You want to see how small this whiskey bottle is?
This is beer,
Oh, that's a tiny one, isn't it? Look at it.
biscuits, fruit, salt,
Oh, sugar, flour, rice, like old tins. Golden syrup.
tea, tobacco, chocolate.
Yeah, big tins of tea. Brasso. How's the giant tins of Brasso?
Oh yeah, they were huge, weren't they?
Back when people used to polish their cutlery.
Within the museum is the old courtroom. There are also a lot of other historic buildings around this area that you can have a look at, and there's actually a walking trail that goes around Koonalda with signage that explains the various sites. So if you had the time and the energy, then you could have a good look around and spend a bit of time here. We were all getting a little tired and cranky after 3 big days, so we decided to have a quick look around the Lions Park there, which had a few displays of some old mining equipment and the like, and then it was off to camp.
Are you going, driver?
I'm done.
How do you feel about driving 1,539 kilometres in 3 days?
Hopefully we don't have to do that again in a hurry. That
I
was
don't
a
think we
big
do.
3 days.
I'll try and make my trip planning kinder.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
So, we finished the Nullarbor, so we have to update the map.
3 days, we've done a lot. So we started it down here at Palubi,
Oh, where are you?
down here at Palubi and Streaky Bay, and we basically made our way all, whoop, let's keep it on the line, all the way.
There's the border.
There's the border, Eucla,
Madura,
Madura,
Laguna.
all the way to Norseman. That's the end of the Nullarbor, and then we've gone north.
We
And that
went to
all the way
Koonalda, yeah.
up, and we're currently in Kalgoorlie.
So that, how long was that? How many kilometres?
About 1,540 kilometres in 3 days. So, and it makes a difference with the wind, whether it's behind you or in front of you. So I think we got pretty lucky in parts, and it was behind us. So I think we've done about a third of the distance now. I think we're around 15,000 kilometres. So our estimate of 45,000 is probably right.
And we've still got a
We'll
long
see.
way to go.
Still a long way to go.
And we're parked up here in Kalgoorlie at the 72-hour rest stop, and it's a free rest stop where you can park up. So they've got, it's a really neat place to stop. So it's right near the centre of Kalgoorlie. There's a playground, there's a toilet block over there, lots of other campers around, there's a dump point, so everything you need really. And it's totally free. Woohoo! Gotta love free camping.
Well, that's a wrap for us for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed coming with us as we cross the Nullarbor. We'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who tuned into this week's episode, and a massive thank you to everyone who is tuning in on a regular basis. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to follow along on our travels. In next week's episode, we'll be sharing our time in Kalgoorlie Boulder, including our visit to the Super Pit. We'll also travel to Haydn to visit the amazing Wave Rock. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you get next week's episode as soon as it goes live. You can also follow along with us on social media at Financial Freedom by 40. We're regularly on Instagram and also on TikTok and Facebook.